Hi, everyone. So once again, this is CryptoCruz coming to you with CoinFinancial. And today I will be talking about the power of BTC out pair trading, okay, with Liberium crypto. Because I'm starting to realize that there are a lot of people that don't understand the power of BTC out pair trading and accumulating Bitcoin through that strategy. Okay, so today I will talk about that one. So just a quick outline. Um, I will be talking about the value of the dollar today versus the value of Bitcoin. Okay, and also I will be talking about why we should be accumulating Bitcoin and not worry about the cost of Bitcoin in the near future or present time. And also I'll be talking about the compounding power of accumulating your Bitcoin. Okay, so those are the three key points that I'm going to be talking about today. And please read the full disclosure down below in the description. All right, so let's talk about first the supply and demand, pretty much. Supply and demand of Bitcoin, right? A lot of people tend to forget this basic information that there is only 21 million Bitcoin that exist in the world. Okay, 21 million, no one can create more and no one can destroy it. It can only be lost. And a few million Bitcoin is actually lost in a wallet, like in different wallets somewhere, at whether they forgot the password or not. So it's because of that, Bitcoin is actually more scarce than 21 million in max supply, right? So you got to take that in consideration. Two, the demand just keeps increasing and increasing. Um, the uh, the demand of Bitcoin from 2016, 2017 to now has drastically increased because of institutional investors. And a lot of people are saying that it's decoupling from the cycles, the bull bear cycle from the past, starting from 2009 all the way to 2017. It was a similar cycle. Now, because of institutional investors, that is actually the biggest difference between this bull market. And of course, we are in the somewhat bear market right now. But the biggest difference is we have institutional investors. We never had that before. Whales buying up Bitcoin, accumulating, dollar cost averaging. And by the way, dollar cost averaging is when you keep buying Bitcoin and it doesn't matter where the price is at. You just keep buying the dip. Every time you see a dip, you buy. So quick example of dollar cost averaging is, let's say you bought Bitcoin at $50,000 and then it drops down to, let's say, $30,000, right? You bought at 50. Let's say you bought X amount of dollar at 50,000, and then Bitcoin dipped at 30, like where we are now, and you bought the same X amount of dollar at 30,000, right? Your dollar cost average, you technically, if you add all that dollar up, you technically bought at a price of 40,000 per coin. That's dollar cost average, right? That's just in a nutshell. So that is actually, if not the best, one of the best strategy to accumulate Bitcoin. On top of that, Bitcoin out pair trading, you can accumulate without having to buy more. You just trade in and out, right? So again, let's go back to the value of Bitcoin. I'm gonna go ahead and screen share and start, okay? Let's see. All right, so the value of Bitcoin. First, I would like to talk about the Bitcoin halving, supply and demand, right? Demand keeps increasing, but the supply keeps decreasing. Starting at 2009, when Bitcoin was created, the miners will get 50 Bitcoin for every block generated. Just a quick overview. A Bitcoin halving, all right, here at the bottom, a Bitcoin halving is when the payout for mining a new block is halved. And this happens after every 210,000 blocks, approximately every 4 years. The first of which happened in 2012, and the next one will occur in 2024, approximately around March of 2024. All right. So 2009, it started with 50 Bitcoin per block. Every time the miners mine a block, they are, they are rewarded 50 Bitcoin, and this is split between miners. All right. 2012, another Bitcoin halving occurred, and it got cut in half, 25. 2016 got cut in half, 12.5 Bitcoin. At 2020, the most recent Bitcoin this is the reason why Bitcoin went from 20K, or actually even 3K. The Corona dump happened, and then the Bitcoin halving happened right after the Corona dump. So we technically went from about $3,900 all the way to 65K because of the 2020 Bitcoin halving. That is a big factor of that recent bull market. Okay, so we're gonna go into the charts. All right, so you can see more on the Bitcoin halving. Where is there it is. All right, the blue lines right here, those are the Bitcoin halving when it occurred. And as you can see, when Bitcoin was created back in 2009, of course, bull market, everyone started buying it out or mining it and everything, and obviously buying it up too. So 21 to $22 was the high. All right, went down. When in a bear market, Bitcoin halving occurred, guess what happened? Boom, spiked up, right? Went down, bear market, Bitcoin halving happened, guess what? Another all-time high. This was when we saw, let's see, this was when we saw the 20K, the 2017 bull market, we saw 20K, and then went down all the way down to 3K, right? Or all the way down to 3K, bear market. Bitcoin halving happened in 2020, and that's when we shot up to what? 65K. All right, and we double topped and made another all-time high at around 68, 69K. And this is where we I accidentally dragged my line. All right, and this is where we're at right now. Okay, this is where we're at right now. That's the present time. And the next Bitcoin halving will happen around here in around March 2024. And guess when that happens, what's gonna happen? Assume like right now the demand just keeps going up, right? But even if the demand just stays the same and the Bitcoin halving happen, that price will go up. Guys, let that sink in. Even if the demand stays the same, because of the scarcity of Bitcoin, the price has to go up. Okay. So, and pretty much my prediction on Bitcoin and a lot of other whales and institutional investors along the line, it's not even a matter of if anymore, it's a matter of when we will reach 250K, 500K per coin, right? 100K is just right here. Where is it? Hold on. 100K is just right here, right there. That's where 100K is. That is not that far. 1 million per coin is going to be right around here. Okay, so just let that sink in. Now, another driver of the Bitcoin price is money printing. The Feds printing money out of thin air, right? They make another mass printing, just like what happened, what we saw during the Corona pandemic. The price of Bitcoin obviously is going to go up because they just keep printing more money, right? Out of thin air. And again, you can't print more Bitcoin. It's limited to 21 million max supply. Okay. Now, next, I'd like to show you this illustration about the dollar value. Okay. So, is our prices of goods actually going down? Are prices of goods actually going up in value? Or is the value of the dollar decreasing? That is the question. Now look at this. Back in 1920, you can buy a brand new car with 1 kilogram of gold. But at the time, $645 is equivalent to 1 kilogram of gold, right? At 2019, you can buy a brand new car with 1 kilogram of gold. But in 2019, 1 kilogram of gold is $40,000. You see that? 2020 to 2019, you can buy a brand new car with 1 kilogram of gold. But the price of the value of the dollar has drastically decreased. Here's another. At 1998, for 20 bucks, you can fill up your cart in a grocery store. At 2005, 20 bucks, maybe a little over halfway. And 2014, for 20 bucks, look at that. And right now we're living in 2022. For 20 bucks, you can only probably buy one item, right? And, you know, a lot of products, you can't even buy $20 anymore. You have to have more than $20 for that one item for a lot of products. So that's just a good illustration right there. All right. Now, my next illustration, just to let you know about how, let's see. Let's go back. Okay, let's stop here. So, I mean, if you just let that sink in, pretty much the demand on Bitcoin just keeps increasing, right? I mean, even if it stays the same, because of the Bitcoin halving, the price of Bitcoin will go up. So, and also the value of the dollar keeps going down. So my question is, why would you want to accumulate the dollar, right? Why don't you just dollar cost average into Bitcoin and then accumulate more Bitcoin by doing Bitcoin out pair trading? And now I'm going to go in more into details on that. Screen. All right. So this is an actual illustration of my Binance account when I was trading with the Binance exchange. And this is all stamp dated because I wanted to keep this for my records. This is actually me chatting with one of my friends about my account and about Bitcoin when I was talking to him more about it. If you look at the date, this is October 7th of 2019. I was in my Binance account, I have 0.41 Bitcoin, and that 0.41 Bitcoin was priced at the time at $3,392. 0.41 Bitcoin, right? Let that sink in. October 7th, 2019, right? So what date was this? This was actually lower. Look at that, 0.37. This was actually probably later. But yeah, so what it is I started doing my strategy, Bitcoin output. Well, not started. I kept doing my strategy, Bitcoin out pair trading. I was trading with that, and then I was able to accumulate it, right? I was able to accumulate it through that strategy at 0.957 Bitcoin and 0.95, almost 1 Bitcoin back then, back in 2019, late 2019, it was priced at 8,815 bucks, right? But again, with my strategy, do not worry about the dollar, the cost of Bitcoin, right? If Bitcoin price plummets from here, plummets another 20%, who cares? because the end result is what? End result, will eventually hit over 100K, right? The near short-term price of Bitcoin, I don't care about it because I know it's gonna exceed 100K per coin. So why not just keep accumulating and not worry about the price at the short term, right? So again, I'm not worried about that price. This is a really good illustration because it's going to show you how the dollar price fluctuates while my Bitcoin amount keep increasing. At one Bitcoin, it's priced at 10,250, right? Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Hold on. What's this? Okay, so this was actually September 20th, right there. September 20, right? So the other picture with the 0.4 something Bitcoin was October. So it's a few months afterwards. All right, let's keep going. So we started out again, this 0.95, right? It became one Bitcoin, right? Again, this is actually during a bull market. Keep in mind, this was 2020 bull market also, right? I After a few trades and everything, accumulated 1.0 Bitcoin to 1.12 Bitcoin. The dollar amount is 10,218. Okay, check this out. My Bitcoin amount went from 1.12 and then it became 1.2. It increased. My Bitcoin amount increased. But during that time, the Bitcoin price went down because nothing ever goes straight up, guys. Nothing ever goes straight up. There's always a correction within a run up. So the price of Bitcoin went down, but I didn't care. I kept accumulating Bitcoin. So now I have 1.2 Bitcoin, but it's priced below 10,000 now. It made a correction. So from 1.20 to 1.29, and now it's my value is going back up again, 9,000, 434. 1.3, 9,615. Okay. 1.78. Now I'm at 13,800. 1.78, 1.74. That's I'm not sure where the timestamp on that is. This probably came first. But look at this, right? Look at this. 1.74 is less than 1.78. But I have more than more. Now 1.78, I have less in dollar, but again, I don't care. I'm just keep accumulating, right? 1.76 went up to 15, okay, 15,000. Now it's 1.79, 17,900, okay? 1.797, 17,300. It went down in price, but my Bitcoin amount went up, right? Did it go up? Yep, it went up. Now I'm at 2 Bitcoin at 17,800. 2.008, 17,800. 2.015, 19,300, right? 2.5, 23,500. 2.51, okay? This actually went first, I believe. Yeah. So this went first. I was at 2.29 at 27,000, but then I accumulated and went 2.51, but my dollar amount went down. But who cares, right? Who cares, right? It went from my dollar amount went from 27 to 23, but my Bitcoin amount went up. Okay, 2.6. See, 2.61. Guess what? My dollar amount is at 30K versus here at 2.5, 23K. So did I care if the dollar amount went down? No, I kept accumulating, and guess what? The dollar went up, but my Bitcoin also went up in amount, right? So that is the last picture right there. So again, You saw those drops of my dollar price, but my Bitcoin amount kept going up. How much is 2.61 Bitcoin right now? Because Bitcoin right now is at 30K per coin. You see what I'm talking about? Don't worry about the price. Don't worry about the price of Bitcoin. I'm gonna, okay. Right, so that illustration ended at 2.61 Bitcoin. I started with that illustration, I started with a little below 0.4 Bitcoin, right? And that whole cycle there from 0.4 to 2.61 Bitcoin was from, was from 2019 all the way to the end of 2020. That is about a year and a half, from 0.4 Bitcoin to 2.61. And in that illustration, you saw there were some time where my dollar amount was above 10K, and then it plummeted to 7K, but my Bitcoin amount kept increasing. Did I care about the dollar amount? No, because why? I ended up with, in a year and a half, with 2.6 Bitcoin, and right now, one Bitcoin is worth 30K. Let that sink in. Again, you can rewind that all you want just to make sense of all this. But that is the power of Bitcoin accumulation, guys, through Bitcoin out pair trading. And no, I did not spend another dime. Again, I need to actually mention this. I did not spend another dime on buying Bitcoin. That was all through Bitcoin out pair trading with my strategy. Okay, so now I'm gonna screen share again. This is the final one. And this is the compounding power of Bitcoin. Okay. Compounding power of Bitcoin. Yeah, okay, still logged in. All right. So we're gonna do an illustration. This is my Bitcoin calculator. We're gonna do 2,127 bucks, approximately 0.07 Bitcoin. Right. That's what we're gonna do. Okay. Again, $2,127, approximately 0.07 Bitcoin. Okay. So $2,127. This is assuming you have $2,127, right? And you buy Bitcoin with that. Well, actually, no, sorry. Let's, this is a comparison between the power of accumulating the dollar and accumulating the Bitcoin. So if you're just gonna accumulate the dollar, right? $2,127. And you just want to keep accumulating it, doing 15% a month, because I average about 15% a month on a bear market, right? That illustration I showed y'all earlier was during a bull market. That is way more than 15% a month on my Bitcoin amount. All right. I have to say that on my Bitcoin amount, not on the dollar. But again, we're talking about the dollar here. For those of you that are still stuck on accumulating the dollar, I'm just going to show you this illustration with the difference between the two. 2,127 bucks. You put it in Liberium, and you keep it in USD or USDT at 15% a month, and you don't touch it for 2 years. You calculate that. After 2 years of compounding that dollar, you will have $76,464, right? That's not bad, okay? And that is accumulating the dollar. After 3 years, without touching it, and you just keep accumulating and compounding it with 15%, you'll have almost $500,000, $458,468 to be exact, after 3 years. Let's do one more. If you wait 4 years, you will have $2,748,885. That's not bad, right? That is accumulating the dollar, guys, okay? By doing 15% a month for 4 years, all right? Now, ignore the dollar sign. Remember, $2,127 is right now approximately 0.07 Bitcoin. Ignore the dollar because that dollar is going to come back, but I'm going to do 0.07 Bitcoin, right? And then we're going to do 2 years again. Okay. Remember, on the dollar, after 2 years, you are at about 78K, right? So 0.07 Bitcoin after 2 years at 15%, you will end up with 2.52 Bitcoin. Okay. 2.52 Bitcoin, right? But 2 years from now, how much do you think Bitcoin will be worth? What if 2 years from now, Bitcoin is worth 75,000 or more, right? So let's just say even 50,000. That's being conservative, okay? 2 years from now, Bitcoin is worth 50,000 per coin. At 2.5 Bitcoin, you will have way more than $78,000. Everyone follow that? With dollar accumulation after 2 years, you will only have $78,000 after 2 years. With the same amount of dollar, buying it into Bitcoin and then trading Bitcoin after 2 years, you will have 2.52. And assuming Bitcoin hasn't reached its all-time high yet, and it's still only probably at 50K, you will still have way more dollar than you did if you were just accumulating the dollar. Does that make sense? If Bitcoin is valued at 50,000 per coin, 2.5 Bitcoin, you will have $150,000, not 78. Now let's go 3 years. With accumulating the USD after 3 years, you have 485,000, right? After 3 years, you will have 15 Bitcoin, 15.09 Bitcoin to be exact. Now, what if Bitcoin after 3 years is at 100K? Remember, it's not even a matter of if, it's a matter of when Bitcoin will reach 100K. If at 3 years from now, Bitcoin is at 100K, $100,000, you'll have 1.5 million. Versus if you're accumulating the dollar and then you will only have less than 500,000. Which one would you rather take? Remember, the reason why I believe Bitcoin price will keep going up is because of what we talked about at the beginning of this video. You can rewind and listen to it again. Now, at 4 years, compounding at 15% a month of Bitcoin. You started out with 0.07 Bitcoin. After 4 years, you will end up with 90 Bitcoin, more than 90. That is unreal. That is the power of compounding, guys. And if Bitcoin after 4 years is only at 100K, come on. What is $100,000 times 90 Bitcoin? Let that sink in, guys. $100,000 times 90 Bitcoin, 9 million. Versus you will only have 2-point-something million dollars if you're just accumulating the dollar. So I will stop screen share again. I hope everybody followed. If you got lost, you can always rewind, rewatch this video as much as you want. Let it sink in, right? But that is the power of Bitcoin out pair trading, okay? I really want y'all to know why I'm doing it, okay? The important thing is to know why. What's the power of accumulating Bitcoin through Bitcoin out pair trading? You know, we are accumulating Bitcoin through the percentage, not the dollar. So that is why my job is how I'm doing it. That's my job. I just want y'all to know why I'm doing it. And also another thing too, you got to consider if you're just accumulating the dollar, you know, you're not going all in, right? The strategy, all the illustration and everything I showed you, it's not going all in my Bitcoin. You know, it's taking a portion of the Bitcoin going in and going back, and now I have more Bitcoin than when I started. Going back in, going back, now I have more Bitcoin than when I started. That's all the illustration I showed y'all. Now with the dollar, it's the same thing. You're not gonna go all in one trade with your dollar fund, right? So if you're going in a portion of your dollar fund, what if the Bitcoin bull happens again and it just goes parabolic and goes to 100K? A lot of your dollar is sitting on the sideline, missing out on those gains, right? But with my strategy, all of your funds are in Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin price is going parabolic, guess what? Your dollar amount is going parabolic with it. While at the same time, I'm trading Bitcoin out pair to accumulate you more Bitcoin. That is double dipping at its max, guys. Think about that. And I will end it there. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe and like my channel. And also, that is the power of the Liberium crypto Bitcoin alt pair trade. All right. Hope to chat with y'all if y'all have any questions or anything. All right. I'll see you at the top.